This is Ray with School of Racing Graphics. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to go through the Ultimate Dirt Modified template and change the panel colors, the plastic colors, the rivet colors, the roll cage colors, even the helmet color. And to do it without having to pick through all the layers, but to just change a couple of swatches and you'll have everything modified up just about the way that you want it for each project. I did just want to alert you really quick. Two things. So I used a couple of abbreviations in the layer conventions or the layer names. L and S in the layers is going to stand for light and shadows. And I combined them together to help minimize the design size or the file size, I mean. And then GRFX is just graphics. It's just where the graphics are going to be located. So if you want to pick through the layers and you want to understand how it's layered out, LNS is light and shadow. GRFX is the graphics. If you guys have any questions while I'm going through this video, feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to look at the comments and answer them to the best of my ability. So changing the colors, I actually made it as easy as possible for Adobe Illustrator users, especially if you're in Adobe Illustrator CC. If you're in an earlier version of Adobe Illustrator, I can't guarantee exactly what will be possible and what won't be, because new features come out and make things easier to do and make workflows simpler. And so I always just recommend having the most up-to-date version of Adobe Illustrator. So I'm going to grab the swatches panel here. You can see your swatches panel will look pretty much like this. I got a couple added in here just for the graphics I added in the previous video. So you can see the red, the yellow, and the black. That's from the previous video, but everything else you see here, you should basically have the same thing. I just wanted it to be super easy to change like wheel colors and things like that without having to pick through. One thing I do want to do though, before we keep going, is I want to turn the spoiler off. Illustrator has this one annoying thing that if you have something selected on your canvas and you keep closing layers like that, it'll keep popping it open automatically. I hate that it does that, but it does. All right, so I'm going to just type in spoiler in my layer top here, and I just want to get rid of the spoiler fin and the spoiler fin. That got rid of it on the right side, and it shows left side right here. So I just need to open it up so it'll show me what in here is for the spoiler. It'll typically show the parent layer, and that if it doesn't have it open for what it is that you searched up here in the top bar. So I'm going to turn off that and turn off that, and that turns the spoiler off. And then these two top fins here, they're going to be in the top view. So I'm just going to turn off spoiler fins. Oops. Turned off. Let's see. Undo that. There we go. There we go. Turn off the spoiler fins there, and now that's off. Okay. And then I'm just going to delete that out of the search so I have all my layers back. All right, so we're just going to start. I'm going to show you actually one of the more complex ones, and then we'll just go down to the easier things to change. So I'm going to zoom in on the left side of the car. Basically, in the wheels, I have it set up as 5 different colors. So, and then they grade into each other, and it's all using global colors. So everything is using a global color, just making it a lot easier to change stuff out and modify it without having to pick through. So I'm not going to even touch the template. You can see here the folder name. It's going to say headers right here. Then we got another one right here that's going to say wheel color. So that's the wheels in there. We got another one. It's going to be the fire suit or driver color. So you could actually delete that. That won't be in there because that's right here as well, the driver suit. So driver suit, helmet, his glove colors for the top view when you go topless. I'll show you that in a different video. And then we got, let's see, plastic colors here. So the skirt and then the hood scoop here. And so as long as you change these without going through and picking through the template, you won't have to dive into all the layering. It's just not quite as complicated this way. I don't recommend, don't change out your swatches. Like you can see all of these are the same color, but the swatches are separate because one is for roof sides, one's for nose sides, one's for hood. So if I change the nose sides, for instance, let's just say I turn it purple for now, you can see it showing up through the back of the graphic. So I'm going to turn off the graphics. that. Okay, so now you can see the no side. I turned it purple just by changing that swatch. But if I start clicking other things and then turning it that purple color, well, then it's not going to have its own unique swatch. And then I'm going to have to, separate it back out again later. The easy way to get the same color on multiple things is to hold down Option, and then you can just drag it over to the other things that you want to share that color. And it doesn't change the swatch. So you still have your hood swatch. So if I click it again and just move that over, it still is just going to go ahead and change the hood. And so do that, do that, do that. So you can see here we got sail panels. So if we wanted to change sail panels to a different color, you just click the swatch and it'll do it on all three views instead of having to go through and pick through. So we're going to turn them yellow, and we're going to turn basically all the body panels yellow since that's the color of our car. I actually did it two different sides to the car just because I was testing out the template and I wanted to see what basically it was going to look like to have a dark side and a light side. So I'm not going to exactly make this in this video like the wrap design super seamless. I'm just trying to show you what the options are within the template. So you can see, even though I've changed everything to yellow, I still have it all separated out in the swatches, so I can go back and customize things later and it'll update. So what was that? Spoiler fin, which I have hidden. So we'll do this guy here. Okay, sail panel. So if I want my sail panels red, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to undo that. So now going down to the plastic, right? So we got two plastics here. We got the hood scoop and we have the skirt. So I'm just going to pull the graphic black down to the skirt, and that's going to turn the skirt black. And I always bump my skirt down. So I'll go grayscale and then I bump it down to like 96. So it's not exactly saturated black, and a little bit more of the lighting comes through like that, because this really is just for appearance sake, right? And then I'm going to turn my hood scoop red to match my graphics. And then, so let's say that we want to turn our wheels now into red wheels instead of black wheels. So all I have to do is just come up with 5 different colors or 5 different shades of red. I'll have these named better. You can see these two are named sloppy. I'll name them wheel color 1, 2, 3. So when you download it, it'll be a little more organized. So I'm going to take this graphic red. I'm going to pop it on the middle one, and I'm just holding down Option and dropping it on there. Now you can see it changes it out on the wheel. And then you can see it goes from darker to lighter. So whatever I want to do, I just need to make sure that this one is a little bit darker color red. Maybe a little bit more than that. You can see it's changing it out. I'll zoom in like that. And then we're going to change out the really dark one. So you can see, because those two are the same, it starts looking a little bit more flat. So I got to take the darkest one, which is going to be the one on the left, and just darken it up some. There, that looks a little bit better. Now I'll bring this over here, make this the brightest version of red. And with red and red being shiny, you can either pick to make it white or give it a little bit of tint of a pinkish color, just to match the red. See, that's a little purplish like that. I'd actually typically like to do it like a little bit of an orange. But you get the basic idea. So you can experiment with that, and you can change it out to blue. So we could even do like this blue color here, which probably there's no wheels that color unless somebody customizes them. And again, I'm not changing it for the fire suit color because I'm just holding down Option and clicking and dragging. So it still stays as wheel color, and then the fire suit is still separate. I'm just grabbing the color from it and changing it out. Get the basic idea there. Okay. Same thing with the roll cage. Roll cage is super simple because I set it up with a lot of transparent layers. So it's got light and it's got shadows. And so all you have to do is come and click this one little swatch. It says roll cage color, and you can change it to basically anything. So we can go green, and you can see it's going to change it throughout the whole template. I'm not sitting there picking through all the different pieces. It's one of my annoyances is having to pick through a bunch of stuff. So if I want it red, I could just grab any of the red swatches, hold down Option, drag it, and then I still have the option to change it out later to something else just by double clicking the the swatch. Same thing with the rivets. So I wanted, a lot of guys now are doing custom color rivets. I think there's like 6 or 7 colors to choose from in real life. And so I wanted the rivets to be able to change colors. So I'm going to go ahead. So you can see here, it's just the standard gray color. But we got 3 colors for rivets. We got the whole, right? So kind of a dark gray. So I'll probably leave that. But if I wanted red rivets, I could just pull a red right here. And that's going to give it a red rivet, and then pull in a shiny color for the rivet there, and that's a brighter red. It's just a little bit of light hitting it, gives it a little bit more dynamic. And you could turn it orange technically, and it goes pretty well with red and continuing to look like red. Maybe you lighten it up a little bit like that, just like that. What I don't recommend doing is clicking an element, and then not that element, you can't click that one, but like clicking an element and then doing this, like dragging this down to like 45, because now, you know, yeah, it's pink or whatever color you're going to want it to be. But when you go ahead and change that out with another color, it's going to maintain that value. So now it's like super light blue, right? And it's because you changed the saturation value of the color. So I would keep the colors all at 100 and then just switch it, like make a color. You can make a swatch. So I can say I need a custom one. So I'm going to go new swatch. I'm not going to do that. I usually start here with a mix, just any random color. And the reason is because sometimes Illustrator's got this funky little thing it does where when you duplicate a swatch and it's a global color, it changes both of them when you modify instead of just changing the new one. And so I typically just start something brand new. And even if I want it to be similar to the previous color, I just hold down Option, drag it over top of the new one. So I'm just going to do something completely random here, drag it down in here, like that, and then make sure it's global like that. And so now I have this custom color, and it could just be called green, whatever. It doesn't matter. I could just click and drag it over here, and now my roll cage is that color. So, and this still maintains that it's the roll cage color or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that back. And again, you could do the same thing with the deck. So if you want the deck to be a different color, you just got to find the deck swatch. So here it is. So I can pull that over here, and then you can see it switches on the top view, switches on the side views. You don't have to go picking through any of that stuff. So this is one of the really nice things about Illustrator. When people criticize Illustrator, I don't even know why people will criticize Illustrator. It's so robust in all of its tools and all the different things that it does. And so you won't be able to do what I just did. You won't be able to do that in like FlexiSign. You won't be able to do it in CorelDRAW. They have other options. So if you're a Corel user or a Flexi user, there's other options in order to modify colors. Like they have an option in or Flexi where if you have an element that's a color, you can have that color, and then you go to a menu item and say select same, fill color, and it'll go through and select it all. But it's not quite as dynamic as the global color swatches that we have here in Illustrator. This is why Flexi and Corel have their place. They're really good design softwares, but Illustrator's flexibility when it comes to this kind of stuff and just saving a lot of time by not having to like pick through stuff, it's like hands down pretty much the best. And I know I'm familiar with all 3 programs. I've used all 3. I don't have like a dog in the fight as far as like which one's better than what. I just know that this one has the most robust tools. And so I get a lot. The reason I say that is I get guys and they say, I want to upgrade to Illustrator, but I've been so used to Flexi for so long or Corel for so long. And I just don't want to change because I don't want to change my workflow. And I would just say, just start sooner rather than later and just get used to it. It'll work out better for you in the long run. So now we have all the template panels updated to the colors that will match our graphics. So I'm going to go ahead and type graphics in again, GRFX, and I'm just going to turn those back on. That. And so now you can see this whole side of the car here matches. It matches the scheme. It matches everything. And we went through and did that relatively quickly. This side I designed black. So you can see I did a thing. Let's see. Get the hood turned on. There we go. So if I was going to like really go through and start customizing this car, now I would have to start, because I want this side to be a different color than this side. I would have to start picking through the light layers and just and then selecting my color layer. And so, and that's important too, is there's so I have another naming convention, and it's just called color. So anything with the letter color or the word color in front of it is going to also come up in the layer palette. And that's why I did that, so that you have these naming conventions. You can just type them in. So if I type in color, you're going to see all the different things, and there's a lot because everything is producing color in some way, shape, or form. And so I'll let you kind of sort out how you want to think through that. But if there ever is an instance where you need to pick through the light and shadow layers, you would just, I usually hide them, Command 3 or Control 3 if you're on a PC. And then you could just turn this one a different color, or make a new swatch that says right side panel top view, something like that. Depends on how organized you want to be about it. Same thing with the if you want different color skirts on the other side, well, then you're going to have to work a little bit harder to get through to that stuff. So I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions. One more thing, you can change out the helmet color. So, and I actually made it so you can actually add wrap design to it. I did not link a file, but you could do that pretty easily by creating a clipping mask. So the helmet color is in here in the driver, let's see, helmet, here it is. So if I just change this, I can change it to any color, and now it's going to be turn that color, and it does it in the top view too. There is an option on this template where you can delete all this stuff out and have a topless modified, so that if you're ever designing a wrap for a topless event, you can get rid of the sail, the pillar, the roof, and everything is behind it that you would think would be behind it. You can see here, works out pretty well. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, hit me up on srgfx.com/support, and I'll be glad to help you out in any way I can. Thanks for watching.